Thank you for being with us this evening. I'm Terry Brewer. Lynn Brooks has the night off. We begin tonight with the latest on 4 University of Alabama football players facing criminal charges. WVUA Sports Director Gary Harris has all angles of the situation covered in our top story at 5 o'clock tonight.
Thank you, Terry. Indeed, we've got the deposition right here, and after reading through it, it does not paint a pretty picture at all of what happened. Let's take a look at the charges facing each of these young men, all under the age of 21, so they can ask for youthful offender status. The University of Alabama says Eddie Williams is charged with second-degree robbery and fraudulent use of a credit or debit card. It's an ACT card, actually. Tyler Hayes and DJ Petway are each charged with second-degree robbery, and Brent Calloway is charged with fraudulent use of that credit or debit card. Again, it was an ACT card taken from the person of a student. All 4 players were backups last season for Alabama. Eddie Williams was redshirted and did not play. Now, the incidents happened early Monday morning when UA police got reports of 2 robberies on campus near Patey Hall and near the Mineral Industries building parking lot. Both victims reported they were beaten up and their belongings, including cash and an Apple laptop computer, were stolen. The deposition says one of the accused players used a UA Student Act card to buy snacks from a vending machine. Now, here's what head football coach Nick Saban had to say about the charges in a statement released earlier today. The young men charged are indefinitely suspended as we continue to gather information and talk to the appropriate people. The university and football program have strict guidelines regarding issues of this magnitude. This behavior is unacceptable for any student athlete and the University of Alabama and not representative of our football program. Also, Coach Saban's boss, UA Director of Athletics Mal Moore, also released a statement on the arrest. Quote, "This is a very serious matter, and we are very disappointed in the actions that have resulted in the charges against these student athletes. In this type of situation, the athletics department works in conjunction with the university. We will have more to say at the appropriate time." Now, this is the second arrest for Eddie Williams this week. The first incident happened at the BP gas station on the Strip early Sunday morning. Tuscaloosa police say a clerk called police after Williams began acting erratic and threatening and saying he had something in the trunk of his vehicle after a dispute about paying for gasoline. Williams was later pulled over by police in a car in which he was a passenger. They searched him, and he was charged with carrying a pistol without a permit. So obviously, Terry, I know a lot of people that are football fans of the University of Alabama are concerned about how this impacts the football program. I would caution people to just back away from that for a moment and look at this situation. This is a serious alleged criminal activity, and now they've been charged with criminal activity, and football probably is the least of anybody's concerns. It should be. These young men are going to have some serious days ahead of them, and these victims, 2 of whom said they were knocked unconscious, are having to deal with this as well. So this is really an issue, I would argue, that's not about football. It's about lives and about young men that did the wrong thing, and now they're going to have to face the potential consequences.
Yeah, and even though, of course, charges at this point, you can tell from the statements and some of the information, it's certainly being taken seriously by the people within the athletic department.
Absolutely, and I like what the statements from Coach Saban and Coach Mal Moore indicate is that the legal process has to run its course.
Sure.
And they've been suspended indefinitely, but the University of Alabama has to work in cooperation with authorities, University Police, Tuscaloosa Police, and Tuscaloosa Sheriffs to get to an end to this. So we'll just continue to follow it.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much, Gary. Well, also on your crime watch, a Tuscaloosa beauty queen is facing charges. Miss Tuscaloosa USA is charged with leaving the scene of an accident with injuries. 22-year-old Stormy Lane Henderson is the suspect. It happened back in November at 12th Street and 10th Avenue. Authorities say a vehicle hit 2 people and left the scene. Both victims were taken to DCH Regional Medical Center with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver was identified and the case presented to a grand jury. They issued a warrant for Henderson, who was arrested on Monday. Now, according to the Miss Alabama USA website, Henderson is the 2013 Miss Tuscaloosa USA. Now to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, where people are cleaning up and trying to salvage what's left behind from the EF4 tornado. More than 60 people were injured, but no fatalities. Around 200 homes and mobile homes were damaged or destroyed. The University of Southern Mississippi took a hit and several buildings were damaged or destroyed. Rain fell again today as people tried to protect what was left of their homes and move belongings to dry ground. Passengers on a stranded cruise ship are headed back to Mobile, but it is slow going. Tugboats are pulling the stranded Carnival cruise ship from the Gulf of Mexico to Mobile. As Stacy Cohen reports, some passengers describe some dreadful conditions on board.
Talk about seasick. Here's the image one woman described to her husband of life on board the stranded ship.
She said that the water pipes on the ship are breaking and that toilets are overflowing and there's feces all over the floor.
The Triumph hit trouble as it was heading back to Galveston, Texas on day 3 of a 4-day cruise. A fire knocked out the propulsion system, leaving it adrift in the Gulf since Sunday. Passenger Ann Barlow believes the staff are doing their best, but says conditions aboard the ship are, in a word, disgusting.
Smells are, I can't describe them. Our room is flooded. There's sewage, raw sewage, pretty bad. There is no air conditioning at all inside.
The original plan to tow Triumph to Progreso, Mexico was scrapped as currents carried the cruise ship 90 miles north. Now, 2 tugboats are towing it toward Mobile, Alabama at the rate of 6 knots, a whopping 6.9 miles per hour. It's due to arrive late Wednesday or early Thursday. Extra food has arrived from 2 other ships, but Brent Nutt's wife tells him it's a fight to get fed.
The first person in line, I mean, he can eat all the food that he wants to. And then the last person in line, well, they kind of get whatever is left over.
As recently as November 2010, the Carnival ship Splendor was stranded in the Pacific for 3 days after a similar fire and power failure. Although Carnival is offering a refund and a credit for a future cruise, no word yet on how many of the 3,100 plus passengers plan to take to the seas again. I'm Stacy Cohen reporting.
Carnival officials say the ship is expected to arrive on Thursday. In North Korea, officials say they have successfully detonated a miniature nuclear device defying UN Security Council orders to shut down atomic activity. The UN has strongly condemned North Korea's nuclear test. The White House calls North Korea's latest move a highly proactive act threatening U.S. security and international peace. President Obama is just hours away from delivering his State of the Union address. Obama's address will focus on nation building at home, and he will announce the withdrawal of 34,000 U.S. troops from Afghanistan. According to a White House aide, the president will also address the North Korean nuclear test today. He's expected to spend the bulk of his time tonight on the economy and job creation.
We are at a moment when the economy is poised to continue to grow, to continue to build on the progress we've made, to continue to build on the job creation that we've achieved.
The State of the Union is set for 8 o'clock tonight. Senator Marco Rubio of Florida will deliver the Republican response. We'll have much more from the president's speech tonight on WVUA News at 10. Well, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and despite what it may seem, it's not just a day for significant others. Marriage and family counselor Dick Hastings says Valentine's Day is a day to give candy and cards and a day to show affection, but it doesn't have to be celebrated just by people in relationships. Hastings says it's important to remember it's a day about love, and it's an opportunity to express it to anyone who may need it.
If you think broader, then maybe there's a shut-in in the neighborhood. There's maybe a child that needs to be loved on, maybe someone that a person might know that's been through a breakup that is in need of comfort and love. And so there are other ways to go about expressing love.